Okay, so you're making a real estate deal and you feel like you're completely over your head. These 5 rules of negotiation are going to get you through to the other side and help you come out on top. So, one of the questions I get from friends and family all the time are, how do I negotiate a real estate deal? And people often ask me this question and they feel a little bit of shame in asking because they have this idea that I do these like really complex negotiations and really complex mediations and that a real estate deal is somehow boring and run of the mill. But I want to start by saying that's just totally untrue. Real estate deals are incredibly complex, and part of the reason why is that so much of the information the other side often has and you don't. And so it's a really great question to ask. It's a question I even struggled with in my own real estate deals. So let me share with you 5 important rules that can help you really succeed in these negotiations. And the first one is preparation. Because if you're buying or if you're selling, preparation is going to be your negotiation power. So what does that look like? Well, let's imagine you're a buyer. If you're a buyer, you want to spend an enormous amount of time before you start talking to a real estate agent, understanding what are the qualities you're looking for in a house or a condo. What are the qualities you're looking for in a neighborhood? Do you care about schools? Do you care about, are you in a flood zone? Do you need parking? How many bedrooms? Do you want a multi-level unit or just a flat unit? So once you've decided where you want to live and what you're looking for, now you really need to investigate the market. And you do that by usually going onto a multi-state listing and getting a sense of what are the properties that are out there, what is the going rate, what has inflation looked like. The more you know about the market, the better place you're going to be once you find that place and are going to negotiate. The second really important piece here is that timing matters. And when I say timing, I mean a number of things. First, literally the time of year. For example, real estate markets tend to be much hotter in the spring and in the fall than they are in the winter and the summer. And typically, right, winter is when the real estate market is best for a buyer. Now, of course, it's also the case that there tends to be fewer units available at that time of year. But what that means is that if you're buying and you have the luxury, you may wait for the winter. Of course, if you're selling and you have the luxury, you may wait for the spring to put your property on the market. So the other thing when I talk about timing that you want to be thinking about are issues like the inventory, the interest rate, what the economy looks like generally, and depending on what part of the country you're looking, it may be just what the market is looking like there. So I live in a part of the country, Cambridge, Massachusetts, where in general, the market tends to always be really good for sellers and really bad for buyers. But that really varies in different parts of the country. The third important piece of advice is to make wise use of experts. So notice how I phrase this, wise use of experts. Literally, there are all sorts of experts out there who are trying to sell their services to you. There's real estate agents, there's mortgage brokers, there's people at banks. And these people can be incredibly helpful, but it also can be overwhelming. So when I say wise use, once again, what I mean is spending some time researching the reputations of banks, of mortgage brokers, and of real estate agents. You want to find somebody out there who has a really good reputation for listening, for spending the time to educate you, someone who can really tell you what the market is like, and who could really tailor the search to your needs. Fourth, this may sound obvious, but I don't think it is. And it's just a reminder to use the extended set of friends and family out there to help guide you. Because you are not alone in this search, whether you're trying to buy or trying to sell. And so relying on the expertise of friends and family who have gone through purchases and sales can be incredibly helpful. And my last rule, and this is a really important one, is beware of your emotions. So what do I mean by that? I do not mean do not consider your emotions. Because in fact, if you're a buyer and you walk into a property and you love it, that is telling you something really important, especially if you've seen many, many properties. But when I say beware your emotions, what I mean is don't let that incredibly strong feeling cause you to overpay or to get locked in. Let me share with you another example that I've seen come up a lot where emotions end up tanking a deal that ought to happen. But imagine again that you're a buyer and you've been going back and forth with the seller, exchanging offers, and maybe each of you is making some concessions. And at some moment, you as a buyer are feeling exhausted, maybe frankly a bit pissed or angry at the seller. And so you refuse to make an additional bid. And I get it at that point because you're so exhausted, but maybe the additional bid was like $10,000. And you end up losing the house because of that. Now, $10,000 is a lot of money, but in the span of a 30-year mortgage, it's actually not a lot of money. And so just keeping your own emotions in check, using them, of course, as a way to guide you in terms of what you like and what you don't like, but not letting them control whether you're either over or underbidding for the property. Truth of the matter is that real estate negotiations are really complex in all sorts of ways. I'm going to share with you one more mistake that people often make in a real estate transaction. And that's that they consider it a one-off transaction and they don't pay attention to relationships. And that is almost always an error because even after you've signed the purchase and sale, there's a period of time from that moment to the closing when whether you're the buyer or the seller, you want to have enough goodwill to work with that other person. And in fact, if you're a buyer, having a good ongoing relationship with the seller is really valuable because if there's problems with the house down the road, being able to reach out and ask questions is incredibly important. So, to recap, if you are either buying or selling a home, remember first, preparation is your power. Second, timing really matters. Third, make wise use of experts, whether they're real estate agents or mortgage brokers or others. Make wise use of others, family, friends, and neighbors. You are not alone here. And lastly, beware of your emotions. Avoid overpaying or getting locked in because of strong feelings. To continue learning about how to negotiate effectively in real estate or beyond, watch this next video, which is how do I negotiate when the other side has more power? Okay, you know you want more power. Click, click, keep watching.